we've talked about the book, and we've talked to you about your experience covering Luka. Yesterday, he comes out. It's the first time he talked since the injury, and he told everybody yesterday that the doctor's original diagnosis was 8 weeks. None of us ever heard that.
Yeah.
Nobody was ever told,
Right.
hey, this is an 8-week injury. So I'll start off by asking you this. Why do you suppose that yesterday Luka finally spoke to the media and said what he said?
You know what? I actually went out to dinner with a bunch of LA media types last night, and I asked the same question. I'm like, what do you think? And I was over at OKC's practice facility, so I wasn't at the Luka media session. But this, my assumption is that Luka decided that he wanted to talk. And, my takeaway from that was he wanted to make it real clear, like, dude, I'm not coming back to the series. Like, let's not have that be a storyline that's lingering. And if Luka's not coming back to the series, I'm not sure if I'm coming back to Oklahoma City until the Western Conference Finals. By the way, if he is coming back to the series, I'm still not sure. But, my read on that was he wanted to really, I would say, crush expectations of him coming back at some point in the series.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's exactly why the Lakers did it. And I think it's why they gave us detail that none of us had ever heard. Hey, it was an 8-week injury. I was told that from the beginning. I went to Spain. I got these treatments, and it took 4 days in between the treatments. That's why I was gone so long. But I'm back now, and even what I'm trying to do, and it's paining me, it's killing me to see my teammates out there without me and knowing that I can't help. As much as that hurts, I'm just letting everybody know there is a very, very, very low probability that I will not be back this year.
Well, and look, let's say even miraculously, let's say that he heals. Like, you're coming back during this series against this team after what would the timetable be now? It would, a 5 or 6 week absence. With, obviously he's not been able to do the kind of conditioning to be in game shape. Like, dude, even if he was coming back in the series, the situation, the circumstances are stacked against him. And by the way, that's what Austin Reaves is really dealing with right now. Like, Austin Reaves rushed back from an oblique injury faster than his timetable, right? It was a 4 to 6 week injury. He came back in 27 days. And, was able to help them beat the Rockets. But, like, he's going to deal with the Oklahoma City defense under those circumstances. Like, you saw, game one was rough. 3 of 16, 8 points. And the thing about that is he wasn't even, like, the primary focal point for them defensively. Lou Dort was guarding LeBron. Jalen Williams, who usually gets the second toughest assignment, he's dealing with his own hamstring injury. He's wearing a god-awful, like, pink denim jacket on the bench.
I kind of like that. I kind of like the jacket. I really did. I thought it took guts, and I thought it was the kind of thing that when you got money, you can buy stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like that jacket. I thought it was good.
It was like I don't know, like, it was short, it was pink. There was a lot going on there. Anyways, he typically he would be guarding Austin Reaves. It was A.J. Mitchell guarding him, who's a solid defender, but he's not like an all-defensive guy. They've got a couple of those caliber dudes coming off the bench. But again, even with LeBron being, getting the best defender, Austin Reaves had a really, really tough time in game one. And the only chance for the Lakers to draw blood in the series is for Austin Reaves to be awesome. And I don't know if that's going to happen.
So, Tim, it's Greg Bergman here. And so you're talking about Austin Reaves. And Reaves has been, in his playoff career, has not been great. And yes, he's coming off the oblique injury. We talk to a lot of people here at ESPN LA, and we're talking to a lot of people that work for the team, so probably can't answer as well as you can that's outside. Mm-hmm. What do you do with Austin Reaves in the offseason? Because he is not, it seems a little bit too physical of a game in the postseason for him. Do you give him the max? Do you think they should give him max? Can you give him less? What do you think the path for Austin Reaves is in the offseason?
You don't get cute. I do think you have to give him max because If you don't, I think like the Brooklyn Nets will, or maybe the Bulls or somebody else will. And Austin Reaves, you're not paying him that money to be your primary offensive option. You're paying him that money to be the co-star alongside Luka Dončić. And so if Luka's not healthy, then okay, you're not going to win. Period. That's just the way it is. But yeah, you've got to pay Austin Reaves. Let's not make this complicated. You've got to pay that guy. He fits alongside Luka. They have a good dynamic. They have a good relationship. You need a secondary creator, scorer, and all that stuff to play alongside him, just like he thrived with Kyrie in Dallas. And I just think like Austin's whole personality, like everything's fit in LA. Don't make it messy. Don't make it complicated. You pay that guy.
So I understand that. Sorry, Cappy, real fast.
No, keep going.
Yeah, so the fact that like you have LeBron that you were going to have to pay also, maybe not the full max that he could possibly get if he was a little bit younger, but so now you have LeBron, AR, and Luka all coming back, and this is an offseason where you basically have empty books. You can kind of go out and do whatever you really want to and trying to get as much to fit into Luka's scheme like they did in Dallas. Do you think that can happen when you have those three guys taking up a large portion of your cap?
You don't have to pay LeBron.
Really?
I disagree with that.
Oh, really?
No,
what do you think?
Why do you have to? Well, I think that if LeBron is back in LA, it's going to be at a significant pay cut. Because the simple fact is the priority for the Los Angeles Lakers is to build a long-term sustainable contender around Luka Dončić. LeBron at 41 is still an incredible player. But going into his age 42 season, he's not part of the long-term picture.
Right.
So it's obviously a year-to-year thing with LeBron. So if LeBron's back, it's got to be something that fits in the financial puzzle, and they've got to upgrade the roster around Luka and Austin Reaves. Austin Reaves he'll be the last piece of business, like officially. Just because they'll want him on a cap hold, but to me, they've got to get more athletic, and I think they've got to do something to address the big man situation. Ayton actually played well in the first half of Game 1. He was a pretty big reason why they were hanging around, but like DeAndre Ayton's not a guy you can count on, and they've got to figure that out. I don't know how, but they've got to figure that out.
Tim MacMahon is with us today on Sedano and Kap, NBA reporter from ESPN, and he is in Oklahoma City, and he was sitting front row, and he got to see all of it in person, got to see it, hear it, feel it, the entire thing. So, Tim, tonight, we've all been talking about Austin Reaves and the poor shooting performance. We've even kind of glossed over the fact that Marcus Smart had a almost equally as bad shooting performance. It wasn't quite as bad because he did knock down a couple of threes, whereas Austin was 0-4. What can the Lakers do tonight to find themselves when in the third quarter they had the game at 4 points? What can they do to continue to weather the storm, but then to get over? Can they win this game tonight? Can they win any of these games in this series?
So Oklahoma City is a unique place. It's the one arena where they have like a pregame prayer, like before the national anthem. They have like a pastor or whatever, from different churches around here. Like I forget the exact term for it, but like say a prayer for the. My advice to the Lakers is to really invest their energy into that prayer, because they've got to pray to be able to make this a competitive series. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander played his worst game of the season, and the Thunder won by 18. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. The Thunder swept the Lakers during the regular season by an average of 29 plus points per game. Like, I don't think this is going to be a good series. I'm sorry. Like, I think it'll be quick. I think I'll get a nice little break in between series and, get to go home and hang out with my wife and kids. Maybe the Lakers prove me wrong, but I will surely be surprised if this is a competitive series.
So your suggestion in terms of strategy tonight is pray.
Yeah, really, look, be on alert, pay close attention, invest a lot of energy in that pregame prayer. Yes.
This is This is very interesting analysis, Tim, because we're trying to figure out something that's going to give us some hope, and we maybe didn't even realize the pregame prayer happened in Oklahoma City, and that's our hope, guys. Tim MacMahon has just given us our hope.
Yeah.
Just pray, Jack.
Right, so we have the pregame prayer, and we had Michelle Smallman on earlier, Tim, and she was talking about Pluto being in retrograde. So we have those are things that we're holding on to. And then Chris McGee was on earlier and said, just win a quarter. So these are our three things that we have to hold on to today.
Oh, my God. We're toast.
There you go.
The great Tim MacMahon from ESPN. Thank you, Tim, as always.
Tim. Oh, my
Thanks,
God.
Tim.